When you arrive in Africa, it's always pretty much the same. The plane lands at night, and as you step outside, you're enveloped in the damp heat. Then you set off into a night of car horns, dust, and headlights. To get your bearings, you impatiently wait for the morning, when the sun rises and you can finally discover the city. It's 5 in the morning, and Ouagadougou, or Ouaga as it's familiarly known, the capital city of Burkina Faso, is waking up. From here, I'm going to hit the road heading first to Mali before finishing my journey in Conakry, the capital of Guinea. A trip of over 2,000 kilometers, discovering an Africa of possibilities and meeting people who refuse to let recession and underdevelopment have the final word. Ouagadougou, for example, is a model African city, boasting an initiative that's rare on this continent, a public urban cleaning service. How long do you work every morning?
In the morning, we start at 5 o'clock and we finish at 1 o'clock. It was very hard to start with, but now we're used to it. It's not hard at all anymore. There are about 2,080 women doing this job.
2,080?
2,080. Maybe a few more. We're groups of women, widows, women from disadvantaged backgrounds, young mothers, people who have had troubled lives.
Mrs. Cabaret belongs to the Green Brigades, gangs of street cleaners organized and paid 37,000 Central African francs a month by the city of Ouagadougou, about 50 euros for 2 days' work per week, which isn't a bad salary for Burkina Faso.
This job gives us so much. We get an income so we can look after our families, pay for our transport, pay into school funds, and assure our children's education. All thanks to this job.
It's 11 o'clock. Mrs. Cabaret is going home on her beautiful Yamaha V80, an iconic vehicle in Burkina Faso. Not so long ago, the V80 reigned supreme on these streets. But today, Ouagadougou is being taken over by Chinese motorbikes sold at knockdown prices. Which isn't to the liking of Jibi, my taxi driver.
There never used to be so many motorbikes, and people would get about by taxi. But now, with all these people buying motorbikes, they're putting us taxi drivers out of business. That's the problem.
How many kilometers has this engine done?
The engine?
Yeah.
The speedometer doesn't work anymore. In any case, we don't work according to distance. I bought this car 4 months ago, and I use it every day. It had already done a lot of miles, so the engine's pretty worn. But as long as you buy a Goodbye France in decent shape, it'll last you.
A Goodbye France? What's a Goodbye France?
A Goodbye France is a vehicle that leaves Europe to come here. For us in Africa, they're like new vehicles. That's why we call it a Goodbye France. If you want to use that thing there, no, there isn't one.
After this, we're going to Mali.
Mali?
Mali and then Guinea.
Really?
We're going all the way to Conakry. With various initiatives and a make-do spirit, Ouagadougou is trying to escape the usual clichés associated with African cities. To leave town, GB, the taxi driver, recommends the CSTR, the Sahel Transport Company. Bus is the best way to get to Bobo Dioulasso, Burkina Faso's second city. 350 kilometers of a road surface that isn't always in the best condition, and 2 or 3 stops to let the engine cool down. But you always get there in the end. Bobo Dioulasso. This too gets shortened to Bobo. And while Ouaga is the political capital, Bobo is that of civil society and associations of every kind. Ouaga has its green brigades to sweep up the rubbish, but in Bobo, the women of the Gaffrey Association go one step further, dealing with one of the true scourges of Africa, the plastic bag.
You can combine from 10 all the way up to 30 bags like this and cut all of them at the same time. Then you knot them like this. And then you go over there to wind them into reels.
Plastic bags turned into thread for weaving. All it needed was for someone to come up with the idea, which is just what the women of Bobo Dioulasso did.
Next is the weaving stage, which is what you can see here. This loom is 50 centimeters wide.
Did you make special looms just for weaving plastic?
We modified them to adapt them for working on plastic bags. Plastic isn't the same as thread. It's a different material. The way of weaving is the same, but we had to modify the loom a bit.
In her notebook, the association secretary keeps a record of the thousands of bags recycled, the hundreds of meters of material woven, the dozens of women and girls paid piecework, and the unrecognizable end products. Plastic bags of a very different kind.
That's the front. When it's all been stitched together, you add the pockets, and then the flap and fastenings. And last of all comes the lining. If I can work without interruption and my baby stays nice and quiet, I can make up to 3 bags per day.
The women's work is displayed in the association's small shop in town. But most of the finished products are exported directly to Europe.
This is a bag for computer tablets. You open it like this. This is where you put the tablet. And you have pockets on the front for discs and your charger. It's convenient, light, and it has a shoulder strap. This was our 2013 model for Switzerland.
So, Burkina Faso's used plastic bags could end up on the shoulder of a Swiss banker. Coming full circle thanks to the genius of African-style recycling. Nothing is discarded and everything can be used. All you need is a bit of craftsmanship and some good ideas. Down another street, I stumble upon a workshop for fledgling artists run by Ibrahim, otherwise known as IB. He too is a master of recycling.
What have I got in my hand here? Look,
A piece of paper.
it's a piece of paper. I picked it up in the street. Look at the straight line. Stick it on your big sheet like this. You see?
Yes.
IB, your little pieces of paper are all very intriguing. What are you making?
I'm creating a human figure with recycled paper. Paper that people have thrown away, bits of cloth discarded in the street. I collect it all for them. It's to teach the children that recycling things is also part of art.
Now I'll give you a piece of cloth for the headdress, but don't stick it just yet.
The association is called La Soupape Ailée, or Flying Valve. It was created 15 years ago by two French artists. Elaidi, what's your history in relation to this place?
This place means a lot to me. I'm an artist, and I'm quite well known in Bobo Djallon, in Burkina Faso. And it's all thanks to this place. This is where I got started. And today, thank the Lord, I'm doing quite well. I express myself through my politically committed art, and it's a way of letting off steam, too. It's my whole life. I couldn't live without art.
Now you can start doing the painting. You can paint her feet, her hands, and everything you imagine around her. Don't fill it right to the top. You could put some blue here. The children are often very creative, and they create things they've been storing away in their heads. I give them the freedom to work how they want, just giving them a bit of guidance. That's what we're doing here.
This is a woman in her home. There's a donkey that comes and eats from her pot. So she beats it off with a stick, saying, "Go away." That's my drawing.
The woman's going to fetch water in her jar, and there's her house too, which is next to a banana tree.
I want to draw when I grow up.
You want to draw? You mean as your job?
Yes, as my job.
You mean you want to decorate shops and so on? Or you want to be in museums?
To be in museums.
You want your work to end up in museums? A great artist, then?
Yes.
My name is Tiabiawan, and I'm 10. My name is Konate Awasi, and I'm 7.
My name is Kasampa Bagay, and I'm 11.
I'm 8.
Goodbye, children. Fatima, Lamine, Soleil, and all the others go home with their heads full of dreams. Once a year, their art is exhibited in Paris. The money thus raised keeps the workshop going all year round with no outside help. A model of self-sufficiency along the road of possibilities and a big boost of energy to help me on my way. From Bobo Dioulasso, it's 100 kilometers or so to the border and then to Mali, which is currently going through the greatest ordeal of its history, with the upsurge of Islamist extremists and conflict in the north. I'm going to be crossing the south of the country through a region 1,500 kilometers from the conflict zone. There's no problem crossing the border. As soon as I arrive in Sikasso, the major city of southern Mali, I'm struck by the apparently normal bustle of the market. All the same, the political crisis and the war are on everybody's lips.
Things are tough in Mali right now. When one part of the country is having problems, then everyone suffers. We have refugees from the north here. They were taken in at the school, which meant our own children couldn't use it. But we had no other accommodation for them. We've been helping them by all chipping in. Everyone gives what they can afford, from a few centimes up to a few francs. But everyone has contributed.
The refugees' children are still at the town schools. The next morning at break time, it's easy to find some to talk to at the school in the Hamdalaya neighborhood.
They drove us away. The Islamists didn't like the way we lived and said we had to live like them. But we refused, so we came here to Sikasso. As well as that, they knocked down all our schools.
The pupils swarm around the women selling donuts and sweets.
I sell them for 5 centimes apiece. That money goes towards helping the refugees buy food and clothes.
Making up for the failings of the state, this traditional form of solidarity has helped Mali struggle through this humanitarian crisis. It's a solidarity which begins at home, in households like that of Mrs. Touré, the schoolyard sweet seller. She's taken refugees under her own roof, members of her family and others besides.
There are 7 in this family altogether, and I've taken in 7 refugees. So that makes 14 of us together. I don't discriminate between my own children and others, or any stranger. As far as I'm concerned, everyone's the same. She's a refugee. She is too. And so's he. And she's one of my daughters who was up there, up north. I made her come back. I take them in out of simple humanity. Today it's the people in the north who have been affected, but tomorrow it could be us here. The things that have happened up there, well, nobody thought they could happen. We're used to rebels, but these Islamists are much worse.
Today in Sikasso, like all over Mali, life is gradually returning to normal. At the bus station, there are once again buses filling up for the journey north. There are passengers, but also farm produce of all kinds. The Sikasso region has always been Mali's most fertile. Everything grows here: vegetables, fruit, and above all, cotton, known here as white gold.
There's a technique. Watch carefully. You pick it off, and it goes straight in the bag. It needs a very gentle touch. Our job is to pick it. We always work together in the fields, the same every year. It's a collective effort. And the money we earn, we keep for ourselves. We manage it collectively, as a group, which makes things easier.
Be careful. Gently does it. 220 kilograms. There are lots of fields here. My village has about 80 hectares of cotton to harvest. Last year we filled 9 trucks. This year, it's still just the start.
The trucks which come for the cotton drive around the bush in South Mali during harvest time, which is the dry season. At the same time, they bring the seeds for next year, because the tracks are only negotiable at this time of year. Are all the tracks around here like this?
Yes, most of the tracks around here are like this. Some are a bit better, but some are even worse. I'm used to it, but if you're not, it can be a bit scary. After you've done it once, though, it's no problem. To be a good driver on these tracks through the bush, you have to be patient. You can't be in a hurry. When night falls, for example, you just have to stop and sleep where you are. Then you get going again the next morning at 5 or 6 when the sun comes up.
Mamadou delivers his cotton to Buguni, a small town located between Sikasso and Bamako. There's a factory here run by the CMDT, the Malian textile company, a public company in charge of the cotton industry.
At this time of the year, the cotton that's delivered is usually of good quality because it's the first harvest. We take a sample of cotton from each machine. You can see that the cotton was cleaned before this stage. This lets us see what state the machine is in. We check the seeds and the fiber.
Mali is one of the least industrialized countries in the world. Factories are rare, those in working order even more so. But the CMDT facility in Buguni has been working efficiently for years. And the cotton industry provides a living for the entire region.
The CMDT isn't just about cotton. Almost everyone has some sort of connection to the CMDT. Farmers, for example. There's a department called Rural Development, whose job it is to guide and aid farmers. Not only does it teach them how to grow cotton, but also about food crops and livestock. All these things go together. It's a chain. And cotton is the strongest link, if you like. But everyone's a part of it.
In Buguni, it's not only the factory that's doing well. The football team is too. They're known all over the country after they became the first ever team from the second division to win the Mali Cup. I'm expecting the cliched image of players training in the dust as the sun goes down. So, when I get to the stadium, it's a bit of a surprise to find the players on a perfectly tended pitch. It's a great stadium and a lovely pitch, eh?
Yes, thank the Lord. A lovely stadium, as you can see.
How come you've got such a beautiful stadium and pitch?
The president of Mali promised it to us. And now that he's given it to us, he expects us to go far.
So the story of US Buguni Football Club is that of a little Tom Thumb beating the Giants, is that right?
Yes, that's it exactly. Tom Thumb beating the Giants. In the whole history of Malian football, it was the first time a second division team had ever won the Mali Cup. The very first time.
It's not just about the sport for me. I've got ambitions to keep improving and really make a profession of it. Not necessarily to move away from here, but at least to play professionally. We all play because we love it, of course, but we all dream of getting a contract too.
By the side of the pitch, the chairman of US Buguni is fairly sanguine about the future.
We've got all we need here. We could even host Barcelona at our ground. And see Messi playing in Buguni. It's all perfectly possible.
Messi and Barcelona in Buguni. That's setting the bar fairly high. But one thing is for sure, in Buguni, everyone seems confident about the future. Whether it's in the cotton factory, at the football stadium, or all over town. Like at the party thrown that evening by Janemba Sangari, hairdresser and dancer in her spare time.
I love dancing. Every 3 months, I organize a little party like this. It's not to celebrate anything in particular, it's just an excuse for everyone to get together. And it provides me with a bit of publicity too. I'm new here, so it introduces people to my hairdressing salon. It's all good.
Along the road of possibilities, Buguni is a real ray of hope for a Mali that's in dire need of some. Buguni is the last real town in South Mali before the Guinean border. Next stop, Guinea then, where I'm hoping to reach Kankan. But it's a little used road and a bit unsure. It's the sort of road that in Africa feels like an adventure. My driver's name is Sank, loud and clear, which goes some way to restoring my confidence. You know this road?
No, I've never driven it before. They say it's the smuggler's road. We'll see.
That doesn't worry you?
No. We've got tarmac all the way to the border. After the border in Guinea, there's no proper road. Wherever you go in Mali, there are roads. But in Guinea, it's hell.
Not long after, the tarmac runs out and there's only dirt track. One last signpost, and that's that. No more road. So, this is the bush.
Yes, we're in the bush. Deep in the bush.
European that I am, I start having my doubts. Should we carry on? Maybe it'd be wise to turn back. But Loud and Clear is unflappable. His nonchalance in the middle of the bush is exemplary.
Not many people come through here, so the vegetation grows back over the track. People start getting scared, thinking that they're lost and should turn back. Just then, for example, you asked me if we should turn back. But no, it's fine. We'll just see what's through here first.
Nonchalant, but determined. And it turns out to be the right attitude. The track widens and we see some villagers, but still no sign of any border.
Where are we?
Yantana,
Are we in Guinea?
Are we in Guinea or Mali?
Guinea.
Guinea.
A couple of dozen kilometers further on, and a new surprise awaits us. The ferry across the river Sankarini has been out of service for a week. Luckily, there's always a solution.
When the ferry's not working, we try to help people out. We do what we can so that they're not stuck here for too long.
And here's the solution they come up with for getting the car across the river. A couple of dugouts with planks laid on top. It's pretty makeshift and not very confidence-inspiring, but the price is worked out with the aid of the latest model smartphone. A weird blend of the ancient and the modern.
I climbed aboard. I'm not saying there'll be no problem, but I'm sure we'll get across all right. It'll be fine.
On the bank of the Sankarini, I immediately imagined the worst. A shipwreck seemed inevitable. But Loud and Clear simply trusted the boatmen and their long years of experience. The moral of the tale is that if you're going to travel the byroads of Africa, you simply have to learn to trust in the resourcefulness of the people. The rest of the road to Kankan seems never-ending, and night starts to fall, leading us to ignore one of the commandments of road travel in Africa. I was told you shouldn't drive at night in Africa.
People are afraid to, but it's fine.
What are people afraid of?
They're afraid of highway bandits on the road, vagabonds on the road.
So it's just that people are afraid?
Yeah, but there's no need to be.
Unflappable to the last. It takes us 10 hours to cover the 150 kilometers of dirt track between the border and Kankan. Kankan is Guinea's second city and capital of Mandinka country, the Mandinka being the dominant ethnic group in the country's north. For years now, the country has been in the grip of permanent political instability, alternating between coups d'etat and tense elections. In Guinea, politics is the favorite national sport, and in Kankan's cafes, there's no shortage of informed political debate.
Today, freedom of expression has become a reality. The cafe that we're talking in right now is a good illustration of this, because everyone comes here to discuss topics like development, peace, cooperation between ethnic groups. This is what Guinea needs, what all of Africa needs right now. You can't pick up a handful of gravel with only one finger. You need all the fingers working together. That's the solidarity we need.
Like everywhere else in Africa, the thirst for democracy has its champions here, who spread the word via the latest media and radio.
Call us on these numbers to talk about you. The name of the program is Don't Get Discouraged. Yes, you can bear it. Don't betray your conscience even if you meet nothing but ingratitude. Even if you're misunderstood, even if nothing seems to matter, just try again and you'll make it in the end. Hard work pays.
Alaji Tori is the founder of Radio Kankan and Milo FM, Kankan's two leading radio stations. It's a really lively presentation style.
Yeah, it's a really lively presentation on Radio Milo, but it's not just a lively listen. We've made lots of changes. We have programs like, for example, Major Issues, which denounces examples of poor governance. We praise people who do their work well, but we denounce those who do it badly, and we force the authorities to react. Radio is a constructive force. That's the sort of motto of Radio Milo FM.
So workers, those who have work, encourage the others.
In the fledgling Guinean democracy, there isn't yet total freedom of expression. But Alaji has ways of getting round the censorship.
We get the Voice of America there, and we pick up Radio France Internationale on that one. And we can synchronize it with our own broadcast. Sometimes they put out news that not even we dare broadcast because it's too politically sensitive. RFI might talk about strikes or other news whose sources our journalists don't have and which we daren't talk about. So we just synchronize our station with RFI and let the people listen in to that via our station. They get to hear the news at the same time as us, but our station doesn't get into trouble.
All around Kankan, it's Upper Guinea, a vast plain crisscrossed with rivers, including the mighty Niger, one of the greatest and most beautiful in Africa.
We are coming from the landing stage of Kinyeba and Tigibiri. This is where most of the river traffic on the Niger happens, heading down to the town of Sigiri. Whether it's merchandise, people, motorbikes, everyone uses these dugouts.
Jean-Baptiste is a civil servant who works for the Ministry of Fisheries. He regularly visits the fishermen's villages by the riverside, inspecting the riverbanks. Here, like everywhere else in Africa, water is a constant concern, and the human pressure put on the River Niger is always increasing.
You can see how the riverbanks are continually being eroded. All the trees that used to protect the riverside have disappeared as a result of human intervention. Bushfires, felling for firewood, poor farming techniques. You can see that the banks are crumbling away and it all impedes the watercourse.
Jean-Baptiste, what's going on here?
They're taking sand from the riverbed, and the sand will then be used for construction purposes. It only has a small effect, but it does help to reduce the amount of sand in the watercourse. Not only are you helping to reduce the amount of sand building up in the river, but you're working for a living. There are others who turn to crime rather than working. That's not good. Seeing you working hard like this, you really are setting a good example. Water is the source of life, the source of our lives. Without water, there's no life. So we have to protect the watercourse. What you're doing is really beneficial.
Jean-Baptiste's speech has something of the sermon about it, but his passion for the river is infectious. Seeing him like this, fully committed to his mission, provides a welcome contrast to the all-too-common cliché of the corrupt and incompetent African official. I leave North Guinea and head towards Conakry, the capital on the Atlantic coast. I have to take National Road 1, the only road that crosses the country. All Guineans are familiar with the road, having spent endless hours on it, crammed into bush taxis or even on the roof. The drivers never commit themselves to an arrival time, but in general you have to allow for a whole day to cover a few hundred kilometers. It's a journey made even more difficult because it takes in one of West Africa's rare mountainous zones, the Fouta Djallon highlands.
The Fouta Djallon highlands are nicknamed the West African Water Tower because all the major rivers have their source in Fouta Djallon. The Gambia, the Senegal, the Niger, and others. Almost all the major rivers have their source here.
Guinea in general, and the Fouta Djallon highlands in particular, are hell for cars. But for hikers, the region is the perfect playground. And hiking is the speciality of Fouta Trekking Adventure, a small solidarity tourism company run by Selou Ba. To help walkers discover a very different Africa from the usual itineraries, Selou has rediscovered and mapped out the old ancestral pathways in the valleys of Fétoré.
We're going to be climbing now. Be careful because it's slippery. Just climb at your own rhythm. We're getting close to the falls now. You can already hear them. And here we are, the waterfalls.
It's not Niagara, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I think so. People always think that there's no water in Africa, but look at that. And this is just a small river, a really little one.
Do you think there are lots of other places like this in the Fouta Djallon highlands to be discovered?
Oh yes, there are hundreds of them. Thousands even, I'd say. This is just one valley we're in. A bit further along, there's Kokulo Valley. And there's another one that way, with rivers flowing through. Yes, I think there are thousands still to be discovered and explored. Now we're coming to the village of Angel after our walk.
Angel is a pearl village. Selou's hikers stop here to eat and sleep, providing this isolated village with a completely new source of income.
Hello, hello. This is the village wise man, the village elder. He came to France with us to take part in a tourism festival. And when he got back, he gathered together everyone in the village and told them, "We must develop tourism here. We must develop tourism." He really helped with raising awareness about this.
Tourism provides us with work. We hope to be able to build a school and roads and a health center. Since the tourism started, the village has been brought back to life.
The next morning, Selou takes me to the well, one of the first projects to be financed by the Solidarity Tourism.
Thank the Lord, we now have clean and delicious water. Right here in Angel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you all well?
Yes, we're fine.
Is the well working efficiently?
Yes.
We clean it every evening. We used to have to go to the river, wash our dishes down there and bring back the water for the whole village.
Come on, everyone, put your backs into it. Move over a bit.
We tidy up because this is our home. But as well as that, when we have guests, it's important for the village to be clean and looking its best.
We're really happy. Thank you, everyone. We're doing this for ourselves, for the white people who come here, for everyone who comes to our village. We're really happy.
Depending on the year, Engel may play host to anything from 200 to 600 tourists. But in order to build a school or a health center, Selous estimated there would have to be around 1,000 visitors per year. Persuading tourists to come to Guinea, however, is no easy matter.
In this country, there are quite often political demonstrations and protests in the capital. This gets reported in the international media, and it scares people away. They think the country is in a really bad way. But usually these demonstrations only last 4 or 6 hours or so, or a day at the longest, and then people get back to their lives. And in our sector, in this part of the country, there are hardly ever any demonstrations. It's very quiet here.
With its mountains, rivers, and culture, Guinea has undeniable potential for tourism. Yet visitors are few and far between. The fault lies with the road network, which makes any journey a nightmare, and above all with the political instability, which has been blighting the country for years, and too often degenerates into violence in the streets. The threat of violence is constant in Conakry, and it flares up all too regularly. Most of the capital's youngsters are unemployed, and yet, in the poorer neighborhoods, there are some who fight with something other than sticks and stones. Yamusa Camara, otherwise known as Junior, is the leader of a most unusual troupe. These are the acrobats of the Cirque Mandinka, or Mandinka circus. Every morning they make their way across Conakry like a commando squadron.
Take a deep breath and stretch. Now stretch forward. Take one leg, stretch it out, and count 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Mandinka circus has recently returned from an extended tour of France and Europe, which lasted several years. But here in Conakry, they're still just children of the ghetto with no recognition from the authorities and have to rely on their own resources.
That's it. Have confidence in yourself. We work in very difficult conditions. We come to this spot because we can work on our tumbling and build up our confidence. We don't have any gym mats or anything, but here we can train without hurting ourselves too badly.
What's that? What's that on the ground?
It's not soil, it's sawdust. You've seen them sawing the timber. After the wood's been put through the machines, it leaves this sort of powder behind.
So it's a deal between you and the carpenters, is that right?
Yeah, that's it. We're here to demonstrate how to do it so that everyone can build their confidence. We're not here to show off, but to learn all together. Okay, let's get on with it. You have to trust each other, but that's not bad already, not bad at all.
Junior is mentor to all the acrobats of the Mandinka circus. They live with him and defer to him in everything they do. They work together in the hope of one day returning to perform in Europe, or of one day getting recognition in Guinea.
Every kind of work has value. The white man taught us that. We left school to commit ourselves to this. We're doing this for our future. It's our whole life. It's our future. I can see myself staying with the Mandinka circus, and I think, God bless. We're not sitting around complaining. In Guinea, you have to fight. We stick up for each other in the Mandinka circus, and always try to fly high. We're not stopping here, always higher and higher.
All of Guinea is in this company. We don't have any of that stuff about being Mandinka or Susu or Gerze. We include every ethnic group in Guinea. I believe that this profession, this art, is a great way of showing the whole of Guinea that we're all equal, we're all the same, that this is our home, and we can reach out to each other and love each other. We all have to share one vision, one goal, in the interest of everyone.
Passion, hope, rebellion, determination, pride, and courage. This is what the acrobats of the Mandinka circus radiate. And it's what I encountered all along the road of possibilities from Ouagadougou to the beach at Conakry. Plenty of good reasons to have faith in Africa.